On this segment, we're at New Jerusalem Lutheran Church, which was originally founded as Apples Church, and I'm here with Pastor Tricia. And Pastor, thank you for taking a minute to be with us on this program. Let's talk about this unique church in the sense of its history a little bit, and to give us an overview of what's going on here.
Well, New Jerusalem was founded as Apples Church. A family by the name of Apple donated the land to initially start building the church upon. And through the years, it has been a place for the neighborhood to gather. In the original deed, it said that it was put here for the benefit of the neighborhood. But in the years since 1834, yes, that's a long time, 175 years our building is.
What a beautiful building.
Yes. We have grown to welcome in people from Quakertown, Allentown, Emmaus. So it's not just a neighborhood church, but it is here for all to come and be welcomed, to worship, to serve, and to grow in knowing God.
We thank God for that, because not only is it important in these days to have places like this, but the history adds to it, the character adds to it, and these red doors, the stone, it's just a beautiful building. In the overview, where exactly is it located?
We are located in Lower Saucon Township, just a little bit south of Hellertown, off of Route 412 onto Apples Church Road.
Okay, and I'll bet they can find you on the internet.
They can. We do have a website at www.newjerlc.org.
So, as a whole here, obviously it's a church. When are the services? Do you offer things during the week? Give us a little bit of information about what goes on here.
Well, we offer worship the first Saturday of the month at 6 p.m. and Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. We have Sunday church school at 10:30 a.m. September through May. And the most important part of Sunday morning is our fellowship time at 10 o'clock, when everybody has a chance to catch up with everybody and gain some strength for the week.
And that's an important thing. When you think of the history, you notice, are there families that might have been around throughout history with the church, staying with it from the area, or has that kind of changed over the years?
No, we still have members who are part of the founding families of this church, and they take great pride in carrying on the family tradition of still being here and still participating and still helping the church to move forward into the future.
I know at some of the services I saw there's a preschool in there. Just mention it a little bit.
Yes, we offer a preschool for 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. It is a wonderful program that operates September through June.
And are we leaving anything out? Like in this part of the program where we're just kind of letting people know what goes on here, is there anything we've left out or anything we really want to talk to people about so they understand that they're welcome to stop in?
Well, I'd like people to know that New Jerusalem is a very welcoming congregation. It is a place where people can grow in faith through the Bible studies and retreats that we offer. It is a place where people can participate in the life of the church, both within the walls by being part of the choir or ushering or being on the property committee, as well as reaching out to those in need. We are the site for the community food bank at New Jerusalem that serves the Saucon Valley School District. We currently have about 400 clients. So that is a very real way to reach out to our neighbors in need.
So in wrapping it up, what's your final word? What do you want to leave people thinking about when they're thinking about this beautiful church and what goes on here?
I would like them to know that New Jerusalem is a place where they can come, and that the fruits of the Spirit can be nurtured in them so that they can go forth and live lives of love and service.
We've now moved inside to the preschool. I'm with Ms. Shaney, and thank you for taking a minute to be with us. Let's talk about the preschool, because it's really set up nicely, a large facility, a lot of activity. What goes on here during the day, and what ages do you work with?
We offered this big spacious classroom to children ages 3 through 5, and there are many learning activities. We have circle time, story time, snack, music and movement. We have field trips. It's all a secured building. We have a lot of fun here.
I can tell that, and so is there room at this point for more children? I mean, how many do you usually have come into the program, or how many can you handle?
We have room in all three of our classes. We have the 3-year-old class, and we have 2 pre-K classes, AM and PM. And we have open enrollment all year long.
And so obviously people who go to work and drop their kids off at the right hours and all that. What happens in preschool? I mean, these days, kids are pretty advanced. They're so used to all this stuff that goes on, online and everything. I mean, it must really enjoy the social activity here.
Yeah, we have tried to bring the preschool into the new millennium without children having a TV in front of them, without little games that have batteries in them. They need to make their own noise and their own fun while they're here.
Yeah, great thing.
Their imagination.
Yeah, their imagination. That's a key word these days, imagination. What, if anything, could you tell the community that makes this so unique and really great for the kids? Because kids today need to be loved. Need to know they're loved. I mean, obviously you have a part of worship here. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, all of our teachers are parents, first and foremost, so we know how to treat children the way we would want our children to be handled. And I like this to be a preschool. It's not a drop-off. It's not a daycare. It is not a babysitting service. It is a preschool. The children will learn in a structured atmosphere. We try to get our pre-K classes right on for kindergarten. They are assessed throughout the year, and we talk to the kindergarten teachers, and we try to get all of their expectations met with the children. And they will be treated as children. They're not going to have such high expectations. We want kids to still be kids without trying to meet standards that are too high for the age group.
So, in wrapping it up, I mean, what are we leaving out? What would you like to leave the community thinking about when they're thinking about the preschool here at the church? Give us a word.
It's a safe place to bring your children, and it's happy, and we love our job. If a teacher doesn't love their job, then they shouldn't teach, and we love our jobs.
We're now joined by Barb Young, who's been a member of this church for how long, Barb?
Well, it must be 65 years, at least.
That's a while. Now, you've survived the test of time. The church has survived the test of time. What does it mean to you, all those years, to be a part of a church like this and to have seen it grow, change, and just give us a little overview?
Yes, well, we have grown. We have a lot of young people who are very interested in the church. And over the years, all my children have, been baptized and communed here, and they are part of the church too. Some of them.
How important do you think it is today for someone to keep God in their life, keep the church in their life, with all that's going on in the world? How important is it?
It is very important. It gives you stability. It gives you something to lean on. And it just needs to be part of your life so that you have God and Jesus to lean on.
So when you talk to people regarding this church, and the history here is just wonderful. The building is, just a beautiful piece of artwork. How do you explain it to them? They just need to come in and join the family?
Yes, I think that's the thing, is take part in the activities of the church and become part of the church. Coming to worship is wonderful, but getting involved in the other activities that lift your life and make it part of your life, and make friends, and it's a family. This church is a family.
We are now joined by Steve Shermetta, who is the chair of the communications for the church. And Steve, thanks for taking a minute to be with us. Tell us a bit about, from your perspective, what it means to be part of this church, because you have a history here. Your family has a history here.
I do. We joined this congregation when I was about age 7 or 8. I've been a member here ever since. And this congregation's meant a lot to both myself and my family here. And especially, everybody hits bumps in the roads of life here at one point or another. And they need something to fall back on. And this congregation has been, that thing we can fall back on when we've experienced our own hurdles. So it's meant a lot for us to be a part of this.
So from your family's perspective, they've been a part of this for a long time. And man, this church just has such amazing character to it, and as we hear bells ringing in the background and everything else, it just has a wonderful history. It must make you feel great to be a part of something like this. And what can people do to help today, and how can they be a part of helping with you and what you do in the communications department?
Well, it means a lot to be able to head up a group like that. And what we had in mind when we formed the communications committee is what can we do to really become more visible in this community, but not only this community, but the surrounding communities, and really help people learn about what it is we have to offer here and what we can do for them. And anybody that's really looking for a place to worship, be involved with fellowship, volunteer, or just really be a part of a family, this will really be a good place for them.
So you're encouraging people to come here, obviously, and what is it you'd like to leave people thinking about that maybe we don't know about the church, or that would be interesting to them, if anything? Just wrap it up for us.
Well, just for them to know that we're here. You know, we're a congregation that's extremely welcoming, very tight-knit, family-like atmosphere, and that we're here. And for those that are looking for a place to worship, fellowship, study, and just feel a part of a congregation, this is a place for them.
We're now joined by Bill Young, who's been a member of this church for a while. And Bill, thanks for taking a minute to be with us. Tell us a little about your history. Maybe you got involved in this church several years ago?
Oh, let's see, about 23 years ago, I guess it is. Married into the church. My wife was originally from this area and grew up in this church with her mother and her grandmother, who continued to attend. So I married in 22 years ago, and at the time the pastor said, well, if you're going to be a member of this church, you need to get involved with something. So I took his advice and joined the choir, and so I've been on the choir over 20 years, I would say. My children have been baptized here. I was baptized here. You know, it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah. So when you look at the history of the church and you think about how long your family's been a part of it and their family, what does it mean to you? I mean, it has a lot of history. It has a lot of feeling that goes into the congregation as well as the building.
Well, yeah, it's part of our life. It's a foundation for us. I mean, it's a gathering place. We come every Sunday. You know, sometimes we take a few Sundays off in the summer, but my wife and I both taught Sunday school. I mean, we're just a big part of it, and it's a big part of our life.
Now you're a part of the board also, and from that perspective, how do you see the future? I mean, what is it, if people are looking for a church? I mean, I don't know exactly what people look for today in a church, but this has a family feel, and everybody here is friendly. And what would you say to people?
Well, you know, we're considered the Apples Church, so and that's fun. We're doing a lot of fun things with Apples. We're doing a lot of community gatherings, and I tell you, the congregation really comes together. They love to work together and socialize together. We have a good group of youth. They're going out to Detroit, Michigan on a big group activity. Just a lot of things going on.
So, in wrapping it up, what would we leave people thinking about when they're thinking about Apples Church, or this, you know, in this decade, in this area, in this era? What would you leave them thinking about regarding the church?
Well, you know, everybody's looking for something different when it comes to church, but it's very diverse. We have younger families, older families. It's just a great place to come together for whatever you're looking for. I think you might find it here.